Now we go back to my talk that yesterday. Remember that I did present three modules. The first ones I was talking about responsible AI, trustworthy AI, and also the risks and the governance. In the second module, I was talking about trust in AI, and today I finished in half an hour discussing about the reasoning stack in generative and agentic AI, and the discussion of why trust is hard in this kind of problems, particularly after the conclusions of the final slide last day. Remember that I did introduce calibrated trust with different features, characteristics among them: usefulness, the safe and reliable, explainable, fair, human-centered of decision making, and to manage the uncertainty and the risks. Now today I focus the attention in the reasoning stack that we start with the transformer. We construct at the second level, the level of the foundation models, and then this last layer are the agentic AI models. And I will pay attention especially to the explainability and governance, connecting with the previous modules when I was discussing about this element in the trustworthy AI and as the foundation for defining or to work toward the trust in AI. Remember that I was discussing the risks in the first module, and finally I finished with the governance. In the second one, I was discussing the trust, and in this way now I connect with the current theory or the current developments in the agentic AI. We have three layers: the layer of transformers, when we have the representation; the layer 2 with the large language model, the generative AI, and with emergent reasoning; and the layer 3 with the agentic AI, when we have the characteristic are the action and the autonomy. And really is explainability and governance is a cross-cutting in all of them. We must remember that intelligence emerges from stacking capabilities, and in the different layers, particularly in the two last layers, it emerges the intelligence, the capability, and not from a single model, but even with an action along the time. Well, in the first layer, we have the self-attention. Yesterday we had a short introduction about them. And you must remember that with the transformer, we have the contextual representation, parallel processing, and sequential modeling. A transformer, as the unit, it has no explicit reasoning, and it has not symbolic structures. And really, the relevance is the weighting and how they encode the relationship among the information. The problem is the attention is quite different. It's not equal than explanation, and we have difficulties to audit the transformer, audit the theoretical foundation of the theoretical layer of foundation models. We have non-causal trust, and with this kind of representation, we have an opaque model. The second layer is the LLM, really when the reasoning appears. And we know that the LLMs really introduce different characteristics and different technology in order to increase the reasoning. The chain of thought reasoning, the reasoning in context and learning, 0 shot, 1 shot, few shot, also in continual learning. This morning, Natalia was speaking about that. We have abstraction and generalization. Really, the reasoning is not entirely pre-programmed, but arises partially. Really, we know that, of course, we introduce a lot of information in the pre-training, phase, but really after that appear reasoning and appear partially a new reasoning that was not directly inside of the information that we introduced. In context learning, in large language models, we have the ability that if we introduce a sequence of information, it is possible to model directly and to generate the next example. It is possible to analyze the context and to create new or provide us new information. LLMs are associated to the theory of the general purpose artificial intelligence. Is the topic of the project of Natalia as Deluxe end to analyze the AI system that provide us different capabilities in different scenarios, and they can do different action. They are not model a system for one action, but they are a system for that can work with different kind of information and take a different kind of decision. Of course, the large language model and multimodal foundation model are the clear example of GPIs, but there are other kind of technology associated to this kind of technology. Characteristic of GPIs is that the reasoning, they problem solving as fundamental characteristic. They have a task generalization, and the reasoning is like a behavior. In difference, in contrast with the classical and traditional AI, here we have another kind of reasoning, and of course there is a risk, because the risk is also general, because we have not real constraint like in the classical AI models. And we have the problem, and we have some limitation when we discuss about GPIs, general purpose artificial intelligence. We have some limitation when we are thinking from the trust point of view. The lack of grounding in the reality, it appears inconsistent reasoning sometimes. It depends of the information, and of course there is a context-dependent performance completely. Then it's fundamental to fix the context, and to work in the context. And as this morning Natalia was explaining, to work in the context and to consider continual learning is fundamental for this kind of models. And we must distinguish in the emergent reasoning that we have with this kind of model. Is fundamental to distinguish between the simulation and the understanding, because really when we work with LLMs, we are simulating in some ways the understanding, but we receive the output information in natural language that we can understand. We understand the information that we receive with after prompts, but really the system don't understand. The system processes the information, and we receive a simulation and of our understanding. Is a reasoning like behavior, but different than a reasoning like a human reasoning. But we have really, when we are discussing about to trust in AI and to trust in this kind of models, we must not consider them like the human reasoning, because they process information, but it's another way of information processing. Really, LLMs generate plausible reasoning, provide us answer, but they are not. They cannot guarantee us the correct reasoning and the correct answer. In fact, if we have not the context, the reasoning in the context, and we don't provide the information in the context, and in different ways, one of the projects are, for example, the RAG, the team that you are working in RAG, for working with introducing information context. Really we cannot guarantee the correct reasoning. And we have the problem that I introduced yesterday. really the reasoning with LLMs is very fragile because we have the potential inconsistency across the prompts. Even with our question, our prompts, we can introduce inconsistency, they are sensitive to the context, and of course, always the hallucination can appear in the reasoning process. This produces an additional problem because really we have the second layer, the LLMs, and we have a third layer that is the agentic AI. And the agentic AI really is a transition from the LLMs to manage or to consider AI agents. In this way, the agentic AI introduce or appear when we are using the LLMs or any foundation model in the second layer, and we include the action and the autonomy, or we try to take action and to design agents, AI agents with autonomy. In this scenario, we have the layer with the reasoning in the LLM, and we have the layer with the action in the agentic AI. And the problems of explanation, explainability, and governance, of course, increase because really we are proposing an general purpose reasoning model that provoke the action with the agent. In this way, we have a loop when the core loop is thinking, to act, to observe, and to iterate. One characteristic of the agent is that really they are connected with the LLMs, and they iterate continuously with the prompting in order to get correct answer and to have the capability that we know now with agentic AI. The decision making, the action, the task execution, and the autonomy. And these characteristics provoke that this kind of model moves from answers that we receive when we are connected or interacting with LLM modes. When we interact with LLM modes, we receive answer. Now, when we interact with an agent, we are receiving we are checking actions because this lax layer transform the answer of the LLM modes in action. And in this way, really, we have a new characteristic, and because we have the reasoning, the tool selection, the action execution, and the feedback integration. In fact, in your project that we develop and the proposal that you have choose, the idea we can receive a proposal with the AI agents in a dynamic environment when we have this kind of action, iteration, and the feedback integration for any future problems. Well, in this complete scenario, the risks can augment because really we can propagate or amplify the risks. If we have errors in the models, in the reasoning, we have a cascade of errors because the hallucination provoke wrong decision, the misalignment provokes a wrong goal, and the tool that we use, or the misuse of the tool connecting the agentics with LLMs can provoke wrong actions. Then really we can propagate, amplify the errors, and it's necessary to design new tools, new theory in order to introduce explainability. But the explainability is so complex because, of course, from the theoretical point of view, the explainability is very low when we are using transformer. The explainability for LLM is a post hoc explainability. We try to understand why we receive an answer, or we try to understand, in the case of this morning, the presentation of Natalia, we try to understand why the system provides us some concepts or appear emerging concepts, or the distinction this morning we were discussing between the emergent context in contrast with the auto-distribution information that is so complex, as is the topic that they are working now. Really, we have a challenge. The challenge is to introduce explanation, to introduce explainability, and the explainability is different than the through internal reasoning. We have an internal reasoning with LLMs, and then after receiving the answer to interact with our prompt, we need to try to understand why we receive an answer and to explain why we receive or why we have an action. And this is more complex than in the classical one. In this way, we have a local explanation per decision, global explanation for the model behavior, and we need to consider the tool we use and the wrong action and try to explain or predict the potential wrong actions. Then we have different kinds of explainability that we need to develop now in this new scenario. Of course, the governance is also very important because it's fundamental from the real application. In your case, you are working with a real application, or we try to propose a project with a real application. It's fundamental, the governance, to define the boundaries, to enforce the accountability, the responsibility of the system, and to monitor the behavior. For any real application, you propose any real application in your project, it's fundamental to know exactly what are the boundaries in order to check the correct behavior of the model, to guarantee the accountability, to enforce the accountability, and to have any way to monitor the behavior, to guarantee the performance from the point of view of the safety. In this way, we have a lot of challenge with the governance because really we have autonomy, we have unpredictability and interaction with external systems. The characteristics in this case of the AI agents they situate us in a completely new scenario in an open world, and we have challenge as the real-time oversight. We have the challenge of the responsibility attribution. Yesterday in the talk we have a discussion about the intentionality, and really we need to and the responsibility is fundamental to know what is the responsibility attribution and the compliance in dynamic system. We need to guarantee the compliance. Well, we have a gap in the tracks in this kind of AI system. We have a gap in the tracks because we have the opacity associated to the transformer. Second, the probabilistic reasoning. We have a probabilistic mechanism to produce words and internal capability of reasoning that we need to explain. And we have finally the autonomous behavior of the agents. We need again another kind of explanation, and the explanation together the governance, because sometimes we cannot display the action, but we need to know exactly the limits, the boundary, and to the remaining aspect of the governance. Really, the capability increase, we have more power, but we have more risks, and fundamental from the trust in AI point of view, we have more need for trust in AI system. And then we have three fundamental challenges in this with the new layer of agentic AI. We have three challenges, and we would like to know your opinion in your project about the challenge which you discuss with real problem. The challenge of understanding the explainability in the output of the LLM model and the action. The challenge of the governance and the control of the system, and the challenge of the safety and the protection. And really, we have together the governance, together the safety, because we need to put together the governance and to monitor the system to guarantee the safety of the model. Really, the challenge are very important. And in this idea, let me to introduce shortly the two fundamental components that I was discussing yesterday, the governance and the explainability. I will introduce shortly a short discussion about governance. Second, later I discuss about the explainability in this scenario. Basically, I have a question. In the case of the governance, I have a question. In the case of explainability, I will show you our recent advance, but very shortly. The governance is fundamental to consider different aspects. Here, in this slide, I include 6 elements, 6 aspects to consider for the governance of this kind of application system. The policy and standards, the risk management for any kind of problems, and the risks of to manage the risks of the action of the system, the accountability, they clarify the responsibility to assign responsibility and enable redress for harm caused, monitoring, auditing, and it is associated to the safety, to monitor the system, the compliance and regulation, and the human oversight, and to consider what are the stakeholders that are in the interaction with the system. Remember, yesterday I was discussing in a health or medical scenario, quite different is that a stakeholder is the doctor or the stakeholder is the patient, because the output that they are waiting is different. In this way, we need a global governance scenario when we must consider the function across the life cycle, and to consider that we need to discuss from the design, the develop, deployment, to operate and improve the system, and with different governance principles. Another important aspect, or another way to discuss about governance, was proposed and is fundamental by a document of the United Nations. I remember Alfonso question yesterday about who must control or introduce the governance. 1 year ago was published a document by the advisory body for United Nations, and they introduced the governance as fundamental aspect in the use of a system, and they introduced the governance with 4 vertical elements. It's fundamental to guarantee the governance in the data, the privacy, the diversity. Patrick was discussing about the diversity and the fairness in the decision. Is fundamental to consider the fairness and the diversity to avoid any kind of discrimination in the data. Second, the model is fundamental to audit the models and to audit all the infrastructures. The third aspect is the benchmark, the testing of the model to introduce red teaming and to guarantee a priori a correct behavior of the system. And the last one, fundamental aspect, is focused in the specific application area, because we have rules and we have different sectoral permission and different aspects, human rights and so on, that we need to respect. Then, according to the proposal of the governance of the document of United Nations, that which was, we must also consider this element, and we must consider the governance is really and manage the life cycle is at a 360-degree manage completely the life cycles. It's fundamental to consider the action, and in this way we must consider the concept of responsible system. The responsible system is a system that we consider the context, we consider the data and the operational design domain. We must design the AI model thinking about trustworthy AI characteristic. We need to audit and certificate the good behavior of the model, and we need the accountability, the inspection, and the governance along all the life cycle of the system. The governance is fundamental, and it's fundamental to consider the governance when we are discussing about the context, we are discussing about the model, the auditability, and of course the accountability and dispersion. And we need really the governance is a layer inside of all the system. From a societal point of view, it's also to think and to consider the trade-off between the A system and when we are working, while discussing from the societal point of view. From the societal point of view, for the users, people are thinking about the societal risks, they are thinking about the fundamental rights risks, the legal uncertainty, the fragmentation of the risk regulation is a problem, a current problem, and also the discussion about the use for social good and humanitarian work, the trade-off in the use of the potential usefulness of this kind of infrastructures that also introduce a discussion. And a stop point before to finish with the governance is a point or a requirement that was introduced by the European concept of trustworthy AI. Remember, I was discussing yesterday that when we check the requirements from Europe, the high-level group in Europe, and we check the requirements in the NICS from America, we have two aspects, two requirements that were different, particularly in the case of the European definition of trustworthy, we have the human agency and oversight. This is a fundamental aspect in the European regulation that the system should complement and empower humans without replacing them. This is, from the theory, is very easy to say and to write. The question is the trade-off from the automation and the design of autonomous system and the replacement of different work. But it's a fundamental aspect. We are thinking about a high-risk scenario when the human must take the final decision. The last concept I want to introduce very shortly, because we are near to the end of the session, is the explainability. Explainability, in my opinion, is the fundamental requirement in the trustworthy AI design, because explainability is fundamental for safety, it can help us for safety, and also fundamental elements for the governance and the auditability and so on. And the explainability, we know that when we are working with this kind of a system, generative AI, foundation model, and agentic AI, usually we are discussing about post hoc explainability techniques that we try to explain the results after to receive the answer of the system. When we are working with particular application, of course, we have different kind of explainable explanation, and we can find explanation for tabular, for image, for text, for time series, or for graphs. But in the particular case of the LLMs, we must pay attention to the different possibility to highlight some part of the sentence and the prompting, and to connect the prompting with the output of the system. And we must remember that never opacity is eliminated, particularly in this kind of a big model. We always have a reducible part of the opacity, and we have accidental opacity that we can reduce. We can introduce partially explainability, but there is some irreducible explainability that we need to manage. In this way, we need to manage the opacity with an institutional trust delegated when we need to introduce the governance, the oversight and compatibility, and the possibility of the contestability. And we need to introduce to manage or to reduce the accidental opacity, and to consider that we need to govern the irreducible responsibility. We need to reduce, improving all aspects associated to the model and the data, and with explainability, we can reduce the accidental opacity, and we need to monitor the irreducible opacity. Another important aspect when we are discussing about LLL and large language model is that in the classical theory, people are discussing about explainability from a static point of view. We have a model, we have an AI system, and we receive explanation about the action. In this case, it's fundamental to consider that we are in a dynamical scenario, and we need to consider that we have an interaction and interactivity with the model. And we need to introduce this interaction, and we introduce an loop, an explainability loop, when we have the explanation generation, human feedback, the belief on the explanation, the potential adjustment, and finally the opacity governance in the irreducible opacity. And then, in this way, in our recent work with some colleagues, Marco López de Prado from Adialab, and other colleagues from Granada, Jaén, and Oviedo, we introduced the co-explainer and framework in order to manage the potential harms with an iterative models that we introduce the explainability, the explanation, the feedback to update and to govern this kind of models, and considering the context from the point of view of the stakeholder, because we must always to think in the stakeholder that are using the model. Very quickly, I will not spend time because we are just on the time. Working with LLM is we must consider the following aspect. It's fundamental. The challenge is not to interpret what was said by LLMs, because when we receive an answer, of course, and we read the answer of the LLMs, usually we say it's good. Really, the answer is very good, always. Even in an hallucination, the answer or the figure is really excellent, because if we are not expert in the context, we can receive an hallucination, and the answer for us is well written, is coherent, and we can believe. Then really our objective is to understand why it was said. We need to understand why we receive this answer by LLM, because if we understand why, we can even to discuss with the model and to analyze really the diversity of the model. In this way, we need the explainability. We just published some days ago a model, a first proposal at a TASAL framework. Is part of the PhD thesis of David Herrera. Here, but he will not work in the topic of explainability in the team. He chose another one. I propose him to choose another proposal of the project, and we propose an triadic model when we introduce the cognitive, the functional aspect, and the causal aspect of the answer in order to try to understand why the model received the answer. Very quickly, we have an interaction, identify a stakeholder, design, choosing the explanation, generating the explanation, evaluating them, and the deployment. You have the reference, then I will not take time, and you have here a figure for the complete model. These are the 4 references. I will provide to Marta the PDF files, and you can read them. These are 4 papers, and in this paper, the first one was in 20, then Natalia mentioned it, we worked together. Natalia worked then in France, your address is France, it's Paris, in this paper. Later, she came here, and we were discussing, and we introduced the definition, explanation, explainability that I use it, and also Natalia, and recently I developed it with a colleague from Madrid, Regis Calderon, the tree of opacity and explainability, and we developed also co-explainer and TASAL methodology. I also recommend you 2 papers. It's a very good analysis overview, published in February this year, from Netherlands and Toronto, with the author that discusses the transparency in agentic AI, and also an interesting big paper, more than 100 pages, about the agentic reasoning from people from Illinois, Meta, Amazon, Guggenheim, San Diego, and Yale University. And we are finishing a paper that we will provide you a copy. We are cooperating in a project that Isaac Triguero, my colleague from the Research Institute and future director of Research Institute, about the traps gap and was associated to the second part. Well, we are in the concluding remarks. I start with a picture, dark picture, remember the dark picture of the Alhambra. This is the same picture, but the clear on the day. We have the sky, we got clearly the dia, but we are in the same situation. We need to reach out to decide how to trust in AI. And it is so difficult to trust in AI because we need to design all the governance elements in order to trust in an AI system. And the question is, are we ready to trust in a system we do not fully understand them? Really, it's a problem. And when we are working in AI, we have a different conception on trust than the society and the people that are thinking on the risks. And really, the risks are there. According to the reasoning stack, and from the representation transformer to the emerging reasoning of LLMs, the general capability of, from the point of view general proposed artificial intelligence, and autonomy and action of the agentic AI, really, if we think in artificial intelligence, 5 years ago, when we published in 20, we published the paper about explainability, working with a static AI system that we have and data, and we receive and prediction. The situation is quite different. We are working with the same definition of explainability, is correct, but the scenario is quite different. We now need to introduce explainability, governance, and safety in a quite different scenario, with quite different models, with a general purpose, and with a continuous interaction with the people. Then, the question is that if in this scenario, we are discussing about responsibility with model with high capability of reasoning, and the question is, if are we ready to trust in a system? Really is the question, because it is really the fundamental question now for people, for society, in order to use and to trust really in the use of a system. Remember that we introduced the calibrated trust with the different factors, the technology factor, the context factor, and the human-based factor. It's fundamental to consider them to calibrate. But really, we must consider, to conclude, please think about these next 4 points, particularly in the last one. A system don't think like humans. We agree. When people try to compare humans with a system, it's an error. They are quite different. The humans and a machine are different. They don't think like humans, but they have emergent capabilities of reasoning. They simulate reasoning. If we are thinking of the human reasoning, but it's a different reasoning, but they have reasoning. They act with an increasing autonomy. Every week, every month, we have new AI system with an autonomy reasoning and really high capabilities. The last one, 1 month ago, Mythos, the foundation model from cloud that now we know that is from the security point of view is a fundamental tool in order to guarantee the cybersecurity of any digital infrastructure, because Mythos is discovering a lot of risk problem, the terrorist problem, and really is incredible. And the question is, what do you think about if we are starting to live with another kind of intelligence? Why a lot of people, particularly in the artificial intelligence area, always say, no, they are not, the machine don't think. The machine don't reason. The machine has not intelligence. Okay, but under these sentences, what happened with Mythos? Was trained with a lot of code, a lot of information about security. Eventually, Mythos can discover problems that nobody as human can look for in an infrastructure. That in some way we have another kind of intelligence. This is the question. My personal position, I think that we have another kind of intelligence. It's not a human intelligence. We cannot compare continuously the intelligence of the human with an AI system. But if we consider a definition of intelligence of processing information, take knowledge, and take action, is really we have a cognitive intelligence. We are far from a physical system, of course. We are far for a general AI or a strong AI. I don't know if we can get a strong AI. Probably, as all companies say, next decade we can reach the general AI. But probably we are in front of another kind of intelligence. And in this way, trust, we must think in the trust through evidence, no intuition. We need to text and we need to text we have the possibility to test the system. We need to use calibrated trust over blinded trust. We need to move to calibrated trust in order to know exactly how they really are running. It's fundamental to think in the governance that a governance enables trust at a scale. It is fundamental we trust in AI because it is governed, not because it is full transparent. Never we have full transparent AI system. They are more and more complex, and we have opacity. We need to govern them, because never we will get the complete transparency and explainability. Explainability enables us to understand where it matters, but we can understand partially the system. Really, therefore, is fundamental an aspect, the human oversight in the center. We need to consider the human oversight to keep the control, to take action, because the ultimate responsibility remains in the humans. It's fundamental. We do not trust AI because it thinks like us. Never we can compare the AI system with the human and think we trust in AI system because it has similar behavior than human. It's an error. We trust in AI because it is tested, it is governed. We can introduce explainability partially. It may be predictable. The problem is when we have emergent behavior that we cannot predict. It's a problem, and always it is under human control. In this way, we can trust in the system. We need to put together all these characteristics to trust through the evidence, calibrated tracks, governance and fundamental elements, explainability and the human oversight. In this way, we can track in AI system. And this is the current scenario. Really, if we think that we can remember the image at the beginning in the door of our center, we need to go up to the Alhambra mountain. This night we will go to the Alhambra. In a fiction scenario, we can reach the Alhambra, we can say we trust in AI, but today we cannot say we trust in AI. It is really a long journey, because in order to be ready to trust in AI, we need to design more and new explainability capabilities, explainability methods, and we need to design governance methodology, including safety, human oversight, and all aspects of trustworthy AI to trust in any AI system. We need to define perfectly the box when we have the governance and the AI system inside of the governance box for this AI system. In this scenario, we can trust in the AI system, but we are now very far to have this scenario. We have a long journey to get this scenario, and probably now, in this decade, we will observe new and new advances in AI, more and more emergent capabilities, and we need to work in parallel to design the explainability, the safety, the monitoring AI, using also AI system, and to design the complete governance scenario. Thank you very much, and we have now half an hour of coffee, and later we have the meeting with Nuria and Juanlu.